If you are going to spend that type of money, you want to make sure that it's a scent that you feel comfortable wearing and you feel confident wearing. Hello, my name is Nani and welcome to my channel where I share with you my top tips on how to look good, feel good, and smell good from the inside out. In today's video, we're talking all about smelling good, and so I want to go ahead and share with you 5 brands that I think that you need to try before you buy, okay? So I'll go ahead and share with you guys the different reasons as to why I feel like you need to test it on your skin before you purchase from the brand itself. But of course, if you guys like this type of content, make sure that you go ahead and give me a big thumbs up, and of course, subscribe to my channel for more. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Jumping right into it, I want to go ahead and share with you guys, again, 5 fragrance brands that I think that you need to test out on your skin before you actually purchase scents from them, just because I feel like they do have a lot of hate it or love it type of scent. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, just because there are some fragrances from each of these brands that I'm going to mention to you that I absolutely love. But I do feel like it's brands that you need to try it before you buy. They're not necessarily safe blind buy fragrance brands, if that makes sense. So again, the first brand that I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about, I wrote it down. Okay, the first brand is going to be Thierry Mugler. Now, Thierry Mugler, I feel like has some of the most unique scents. I feel like his scents are very unique, very different, very kind of like out of the ordinary type of fragrances in all the best ways. But I do feel like a lot of their fragrances are hate it or love it. It's either you're going to hate the scent or you're going to absolutely love it, and it's going to be a scent that stays in your collection forever. From Thierry Mugler, I have Aura, I have Angel Muse, I've tested out Angel before, and I also have Alien as well. So I feel like, honestly, for all of the scents, they're definitely scents that will basically grow on you. In the opening or the way that they linger on your body at first, you're going to feel like you've never smelled something like that before. And so that's why I feel like it's important that you at least test the fragrances out on your skin before you actually purchase or commit to them, just because you may not like the way that it lingers on your body. But I do feel like the scents itself are very unique, very different. So if you want to smell different and you want to stand out from the crowd, I feel like Thierry Mugler is a great brand to look into, just because, like I mentioned, the scents are so unique, so different. But I do feel like the scents are very potent, very strong fragrances. They are going to leave a beautiful scent trail behind you. They will create this beautiful scent bubble around you as well, so you will basically smell yourself all day. The projection and sillage is definitely amazing with that brand, but I do feel like because of how strong and potent the scents are, if you don't like it, you will hate it. So definitely make sure that you guys test out the brand first, like test out some of the fragrances first on your skin, just to make sure that it is something that you will enjoy. One of the things that I will say is that in terms of the way that I use a lot of Thierry Mugler's fragrances, I do use them very sparingly. Although I do love and enjoy the fragrances that I have in my collection, they're not scents that are going to be everyday fragrances. They're going to be very season specific or situation, or very like situational, or they're going to be scents that you feel like you can either wear only during the daytime or only at nighttime. So I don't get much wear and use out of them, because I do have to wait for a certain situation to kind of like gravitate towards the scent. But when I wear them, I feel very beautiful, I feel very unique, I feel very bold, I feel very strong and powerful, and I love that feeling from the brand itself. And I do feel like my scent stands out from everyone else in the crowd. So if you're looking for something that's unique, that has a huge projection and sillage, that's extremely long lasting as well, definitely make sure that you guys check out Thierry Mugler. But as I mentioned, try to test it out on your skin before you commit and you buy from them. So that's going to be brand number 1. The second brand that I want to mention to you is kind of for the same reasons, and it's going to be Tom Ford. I feel like a lot of the scents from Tom Ford are also unique, not as much as Thierry Mugler. I feel like Thierry Mugler is definitely at the top, in my opinion, when it comes to the uniqueness of their scents. But I feel like Tom Ford does have some very kind of like unique, just very different type of fragrances. A lot of them are definitely not mass appealing fragrances. And I do feel like some of them do lean I feel like some of the women's fragrances do lean very kind of like masculine as well, which gives them a very nice edge to it, which I absolutely love and enjoy as well. But at the same time, I feel like because of the uniqueness of the scent and because of the fact that some of them do not have the best longevity, in my opinion, I do feel like it is a brand that you should also test out before you actually buy them. I do feel like you could definitely, because of how many lines they have, whether it's the private line or just like their, I guess, regular line, I feel like they do have so many different variations of scents that you will probably find something that works for you that pretty much stays in your collection for a long time. So I will say that their variety in fragrances is definitely there. But I do feel like a lot of the scents are scents that you have to test out on your skin to make sure that it works with your body chemistry, to make sure that it's giving you the vibe that you're looking and going for before you actually commit to their price tag, just because they are a little bit kind of like higher end as well. Again, they do have a lot of really great quality scents. They do have some of them that don't necessarily have the best longevity, but I do feel like they are pretty unique in terms of the scent itself. A lot of them do have moderate projection as well as sillage. They do have kind of like moderate to great longevity. It just depends on which fragrance you decide to go for. But at the same time, like I mentioned, you do have to test them out, just because I do feel like some of the fragrances that they have are scents that have to grow on you. One of my favorite scents now, but that had to grow on me, is Black Orchid by Tom Ford. I did not understand the scent when I first got it. It kind of smells a little bit like a pencil shavings, like it kind of gives you that woody type of element to it, and I just didn't understand the scent at first. I was like, what is all the hype about? But it's really one of those fragrances where after you test it out on your skin, it just kind of calls to you. It's like the weirdest thing where it's like you just start to grow to love the scent, and it becomes one of those staples in your collection. So definitely make sure that you guys test it out before you buy it, just because they can be kind of hate it or love it. So that's going to be brand number 2. Again, that's going to be Tom Ford. The next brand that I want to mention to you is going to be one that's very like hugely talked about and has been around for such a long time, and it's really a classic brand, and that's going to be Chanel. The only thing about Chanel that I feel like you should definitely test it out before you buy is because a lot of their scents smell very mature. Sometimes, you know, if you're a little bit younger, again, I'm 30, but I feel like some of their scents still smell a little bit too mature for me. The scents that I do enjoy from Chanel are going to be, and I feel like the ones that are most mass appealing and the most wearable and versatile are going to be Chanel Coco Mademoiselle, the Chanel Chance line, that line, they do have a lot of different ones, but I do love the Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche, and then the Chanel Coco Noir. Those three I feel like are the most versatile. Those three are the most likable out of the bunch. But I do feel like a lot of the other ones are a little bit harder to wear. I feel like a lot of them smell a little bit mature, so more for like a woman of a mature age. But at the same time, I do feel like they are still a very classic brand, very classic, very timeless. These are basically going to be scents that you're just going to enjoy to have them in your collection in general, just because of what they embody. It's very classy, very elegant, very grown woman, very mature. And I feel like you can find a scent that makes you feel like the most beautiful woman in the room. But at the same time, a lot of them smell so mature that you want to make sure that you test it out before you actually commit to that price tag. So again, Chanel is a classic brand that I feel like could find something beautiful in your collection that will basically stay there forever. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you buy the right one to make sure that you feel confident and beautiful and elegant when you are actually rocking your scent. So again, that's going to be brand number 3. Again, that's Chanel. Make sure you test it out on your skin before you buy it. The next brand that I want to mention to you is also another brand that I absolutely love, and I want to start getting into some of their other, I think they have like a private line as well, and that's going to be Narciso Rodriguez. Now, if you have any Narciso Rodriguez fragrances, then you know that they're very heavy in like patchouli and just like a heavy musk. I love those scents, okay? I absolutely think that a scent that has a earthy, woody, masculine type of base to it, like a woman's fragrance that has that, is just so sexy, so powerful, and definitely makes me feel very, I don't know, it just makes you feel very powerful and just beautiful and feminine still. I just feel like they're just really, really nice scents. And I feel like a lot of times the musk adds to the sensual nature of the scent, where it's like, it just makes it more interesting, if that makes sense. And so Narciso Rodriguez is definitely huge in musk. And so if you don't like musky like scents, if you don't like something that has a heavy patchouli note or a heavy musky base, then you will not like a lot of fragrances from this brand, honestly. I absolutely love this brand because I like that type of base in a fragrance, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of women don't. If you're someone that does enjoy more like fresh, airy, lightweight, fruity type of fragrances, it's gonna be pretty difficult for you to find a scent that you enjoy from kind of like their regular line. But I do feel like because of the fact that most of their notes are very prominent in a very earthy, woody, musky type of base, you have to enjoy that in your fragrances to actually like Narciso Rodriguez fragrances. So make sure that you definitely test it out on your skin before you buy it, because some of them can lean a little bit very musky, very masculine leaning, very kind of like bold and powerful, but to me, I feel like it just adds to the sensual nature to the scent. So again, that's going to be Narciso Rodriguez, and that's going to be brand number 4. And then the last one is going to be Hermes. That's also a brand that I feel like has a lot of variations, has a lot of different fragrances from different lines, but I do feel like they are very unique and different in their own ways, but they all do have a similarity to them to where they do have a greenness to them. Now, for me personally, I don't have an issue with a scent that has some type of a greenness in the background, but if it's too prominent, I can't wear it. I get a headache. I feel like it's not versatile. I feel like it's not feminine. And I do find that some of them do lean too green to me. They do have a lot of variations, like I mentioned, so I'm sure that you'll be able to find something from their collection that you do enjoy. But if you are someone that is kind of like me, where you don't like green fragrances, you find it very hard to wear and hard to understand and to like, then I definitely would recommend that you test it out first. Just because I have purchased some fragrances from Hermes that the greenness was a little bit too much for me, to where I had to layer it with another fragrance to make it wearable for me. And I don't like having or purchasing fragrances where I have to layer it to make it work. I feel like it should stand alone and be something that I feel confident in. And so I definitely would recommend that you test them out first. They do have a lot of really great fragrances as well from their line, but at the same time, I do feel like because of the uniqueness and the boldness in the fragrances itself, I think it's important that you at least test it out just to make sure that the greenness doesn't actually bother you. So that's gonna be pretty much the last fragrance brand that I wanted to mention to you that I feel like you should try before you buy. And again, I've mentioned to you guys the reasons behind them. I will make sure to still include my favorites from these brands down in the description box in case you guys are interested in purchasing some of my favorites. Like I mentioned, they do all have their own different reasons as to why I feel like you should test them out first, but they do have a lot of really great variations from their line itself. So I'm sure that you'll be able to still find something from their lines that does work for you and that does fit what you're looking for. Let me know down below what your thoughts are from these brands as well. Let me know what some of your favorites from these brands are. I would love to hear from you guys as well. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. I hope you guys are staying safe out there. If you enjoy this content, give me a big thumbs up and of course subscribe to my channel for more. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I hope you have an awesome day. God willing, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.